Hi guys, welcome back to Blue Moon Rising TV. It's Manuel Pellegrini's last ever game against Swansea. So in honour of our manager, one of our most successful managers in our history, we're going to look through some of his top moments, his top 5 that we're going to remember him for once he's gone, once he's out the door.
Yeah.
And, you know, the things that are most fondly remembered about him.
Yeah, he's a funny fella, Pellegrini, wasn't he? Because it wasn't, you wouldn't call him a character, but there were certainly some pinpoint things throughout his time with Manchester City that he should be praised for.
Yeah, so in at number 5, let's get started, is his decision to stand by his man, Willy Caballero. All the puns were there.
Yeah.
Willy all your heart, blah, blah, blah. In the end, he went with his Willy.
Went with his Willy, big Willy. And
last time you can get these jokes in, so...
Oh, yeah, might be, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
possibly. So go for it big time.
He really went for it with his big Willy. He really...
This is getting so crude. So you keep thinking. And so, yeah, basically, I think it sums up Pellegrini because it shows him as a gentleman. He stood by his word.
Yeah.
He said, Willy is the man, and he's going to be the cup competition goalkeeper. And it sort of, you compare it to Mancini, which he said the same thing with Pantilimon, and then we got to the final and he threw Joe Hart.
Nowhere to be seen, yeah.
No, yeah, despite being the biggest man on earth, he was nowhere to be seen.
Tallest Man City player ever.
Yeah, so that, you know, it contrasts. I mean, he played a high risk kind of game because if Caballero hadn't had such a heroic game, you know, people might be looking back at this and saying, "Oh, it was too sentimental." But the final word is he got it right.
It was from the fans' perspective, it was a risky one. I think from Pellegrini's perspective, it wasn't even in question. There was no risk. There was no risk whatsoever, I think, as far as Pellegrini saw it, because I think he thought, well, look, you know, Caballero's played a blinder in every match in this competition so far. Why should I suddenly change him for Joe Hart? And when the team sheet came out, and you'll remember this for the final, and you saw Caballero's, and don't pretend otherwise now, right, with hindsight, because when you saw Caballero's name on that team sheet, you went, oh, he has?
It's funny, isn't it? I do remember that, and everybody was saying, well, that's it, you know, we've thrown it away, because Liverpool were a strong team. They went on to beat us the very same week, quite hammered us, actually.
They did.
But we played really well that game. We were the better team. We should have probably won it in normal time. Pellegrini stood by his man, and it perfectly sums up why we know him as this charming man.
4th best Manuel Pellegrini moment, without doubt, is, and arguably the top, really, is signing Kevin De Bruyne. As far as the future of Manchester City goes, Kevin De Bruyne was just a genius signing. What Pellegrini saw in Kevin De Bruyne that Chelsea didn't see in him, don't know. Well, we do know because we sit on the pitch every week. And just, you know, think back to when De Bruyne was signed and it was being made out that we'd bought basically a flop. That was what he was called, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, there was a lot of pressure on the amount of money that was being thrown around. Was, say, you know, the headline, the back page was there, £60 million flop. So there was pressure on. And, you know, we've got to say, you know, some of the signings haven't gone down as well. But Kevin De Bruyne is going to be the future of this team. And Guardiola's going to come in. He's going to build the team around Kev. And he is, you know, this season he's been probably, arguably player of the season, maybe Fernandinho as well. But he's really one for the future. And, you know, like the same as Mancini had his players, and we've had him all these years, in fact, all the Mancini players. He's going to be the one that will say, and, you know, Kelechi hopefully as well coming through. Those two players we're going to say, well, they're really from the Pellegrini era, and they'll do as well for the future.
And there's not much that he's got from the Pellegrini era either. Like you say, there are a lot of Mancini, you know, Aguero, Silva, people like that are all Mancini players. But Kevin De Bruyne has been so great this season, and like you said there, when you think what he could look like with new players surrounding him, it could be absolutely phenomenal. And I think you're right. I think Pep will build the new team around Kevin De Bruyne. So thank you, Pellers, for Kev.
Number 3 is the record that he broke, which is from scoring 156 goals in his first season with us. He blew teams away. We were winning 4, 5, 6-0 on occasion. And the same as we did, there was a particular 6-1 with Mancini, which we won't forget. But Pellegrini carried on and made us even more attacking. Mancini was probably more known for his defensive style, but Pellegrini was attacking flair through and through. And while maybe we couldn't keep it up all through for the rest of the seasons, that first season was unbelievable. Yeah. Breaking the record for most goals in one season. It's just amazing. We scored over 100 in the league as well, combined 156, and it was Manchester United who held the previous record, so that's an extra little bit of gloat in there as well. So thanks for that, Manuel.
And also he had that same sort of attacking attitude at the beginning of this season as well. If you think back to that early game against Newcastle, we were
five in a row that we won.
Flying and flying. Yeah, this season it has fallen off a little bit towards the end, but to take nothing away from Pellegrini's style of football and the results that he got by playing in that attacking way, fair dues.
It was always, he always wanted to outscore the opponent, which, people say obviously that's how you win. But, his philosophy was, I've never really seen him go into a game playing for a draw. No. Maybe, on a very, very, very good occasion, maybe towards the end of a game trying to seal it out. But maybe some people even say he was too stuck in his ways a little bit. Maybe sometimes he needed to be a bit cleverer. But I tell you what, we have seen some amazing, amazing attacking football at the Etihad with Manuel Pellegrini. Sergio getting Golden Boot last season. De Bruyne's banging him in for fun. Yaya scoring over 20 from midfield a couple of seasons ago.
You're getting value for money if you go and watch a team that play like that. You are getting. Imagine going week in, week out to watch West Ham or to watch whoever. A team that's sort of all right or whatever. But when you go and watch City, that's what you see. You see attacking football, and that's because of Manuel. Reason we love Pellegrini number 2 is because he's got us the furthest in the club's history ever in the Champions League. To get to the semi-finals, when people were laughing at City in the Champions League just a couple of seasons before that, people were saying that City didn't belong in the Champions League. People were saying that City would never get out of the group stages, and you remember hearing people say that. They'll never get out of the group stages, City. It's never going to happen. They're not that kind of club. Well, Pellegrini turned us into that kind of club and got us into the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, that's it. I was there at Madrid, and to play in the Bernabeu with City, it's stuff dreams are made of, and hopefully now we're going to take even further step forward. But he's, like I said, that's another record broken for Manuel Pellegrini for Manchester City with the engineer. So thank you for that. We were never getting out of the groups, as you said. We just seem to have a bit of a horror show. But this season, in the group stages, we've got finished top, which is crucial.
Yeah.
If you can finish first, then you're gonna. We've got Dynamo Kiev. We're able to turn them over. Then we managed to get PSG, turn them over, and then Real Madrid were just one goal away from a final. So the history books will look back and will say, we got further probably than people would have expected that we'd get, and for that, we've got to be thankful.
I think people will see that semi-final, us getting into the semi-final, as the beginning of the next era, fingers crossed, of Manchester City's success. So hats off to Pellas for that.
And at number 1, really, for Manchester City fans, there's one thing that sticks out above the rest. There's one thing that we're going to remember, and in the history books and on the Manchester City tour, the thing that we're going to remember the most, and that is winning a domestic title, winning the Premier League, because it's hard, isn't it? We know, because we've done it twice, but it's hard to do it the second time. It requires some grit, it requires some steel, it requires being able to play some amazing football as well.
The first time under Mancini was like a miracle. When we won it, it was like this. You cannot believe that has happened. It was like a miracle.
If you're not a fan of Manchester City, you do not know, and you'll probably never know what that felt like.
To do it again with a new manager is even more incredible, but probably slightly less dramatic. But let's not. That doesn't take anything away from the fact that it was so incredible that he just turned up, Pellegrini, as the new manager. It could have gone either way. You've seen other clubs do it, Chelsea, etc. New manager turns up, dive bomb. Pellegrini turned up, we won the league.
Yeah, he did it in his first season, knocking teams to one side, playing his attractive football, sticking to his philosophy, scoring loads of goals, breaking the record, as we said, for most goals. And we're not going to forget that. And when we look back, I think that's something, Champions League, obviously that's a big aim for Manchester City right now. But, as a fan of Manchester City, having the bragging rights to win that domestic title, to win it week in, week out, to be grinding out those results, it means so much to us. And the Champions League is going to be so important. That's our new aim. But getting that trophy first is so important, isn't it?
It never got boring. He doesn't play a boring kind. And he might not be. Look, Pellegrini might not be a celebrity manager, but I kind of like that. That's one of the things that makes him so likeable. But the style of football that he gets his team to play is completely different. It is exciting, it is fast, it is dynamic. And when you pay your season ticket or your Sky subscription or whatever it is you do, and however you watch Manchester City, you're getting amazing value for money for the way that team played under Pellegrini, without doubt.
Definitely. We played, I think everybody was in awe at some of the football we were playing that season, winning left, right and centre. And, at the end, we won in a dramatic fashion. Liverpool, Demba Ba, Steve Gerrard slipped on his, the score. And so, again, it was drama. And that's the way Manchester City do it. And Pellegrini, we chose him because of he wasn't a troublemaker. He had a good brand of football, and he got the job done, and that's what you did. You got 3 trophies in 3 seasons. You're the best manager in the Premier League at the time of you being at the club. What more can we ask for?
Yeah.
So, Manuel, thanks very much. Adios. Maybe we'll see you back at the club, and we'll always give you a big greeting, won't we, when he comes back?
Gracias.
Gracias, that's how you say it. This is Blue Moon Rising TV. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in a bit, Manuel. Thanks for everything.